So, you know, we're just doing with what we got, and most importantly, striving to get rounds downrange, because I haven't even touched my shotgun since the multi-gun nationals last summer. But don't worry, no stress, I got 4 days. Hi there. Let me tell you about a shotgun match that I prepared for in 4 days, where I switched divisions. My gear failed. Jeremy jumped into an entirely new sport, and somehow I still came out on top. So I've competed pretty much exclusively in what's called the standard division, and that means I'm shooting a tube-fed shotgun that I can only start with 9 rounds in it at the buzzer, and that's really it. That's it. That's the standard. Now I've decided to jump into modified because I want to go and compete where there's the most competition. And at the last Shotgun World Shoot, I realized that that was no longer standard. So I want to go chase after the big dogs. So I'm jumping into modified, which means I get a ported barrel, I get an off deck, and I get to start with 14 rounds in my shotgun. Fun plot twist. All of my 940 shotguns are, as my father says, shot out. As in, I have broken them all. They are all in shambles. I literally have nothing but pieces and parts of not working guns. So, step 1 of the 4 days of prep I have before I fly out to this match is try and put a shotgun together. And then I bring along my friend to the actual competition to, you know, give you all a true behind the scenes feel of what it's like going and competing for a world level slot for the 2026 IPSC Shotgun World Shoot. It's a doozy, so buckle up, get a cup of coffee, because it's also a little bit of a long one, because I'm going to take you through each of those days and all the competition that I went through. Day 1, I got new shotguns out and I proceeded to try and use this new super cool telescoping mag tube that I have. Super fancy, it's what everybody else overseas is running. That ended up not working quite right for me, I think. It just wasn't a combo suited for right now, and I don't have the time to fix it. Not a big deal. Also, I couldn't get my stock off of my shotgun to actually adjust it to me, so that got put off. And then I needed a cheek riser, which I didn't have at the beginning, so I taped some socks onto my stock to help with that. So we flew into Houston, got a rental car, and drove about an hour and a half outside the city to a Airbnb. Now listen, I'm all about staying in a house because I want to be able to cook my own meals, especially before competition. So we make a grocery run store, we get our snacks for the range, we pick up some steaks, we get every other odds and ends. I usually buy enough food to survive for a week because I don't want to be hungry. It's a fear of mine. So we do that, we get unpacked, we get our gear assembled, and then we settle in for a nice relaxing evening before we hit the range early the next morning. To kick off competition day, we start with some dry fire. Time. We got a couple more minutes. After that beautiful dry fire session, we pack up all of our gear and we head to the range. We are competing at the very first shotgun qualifier match that Dissident Arms put on. Now, I'm so thankful for Dissident Arms supporting the IPSC US demographic. Listen. For some reason, the US hates individual gun sports. Handgun, you can find a handgun match freaking anywhere, everywhere, up, down, sideways, in someone's backyard. Shotgun only matches, I have shot a handful of them in the US in my entire career. So pretty much when we go and compete on the world stage, like when I went to Thailand a few years ago, I hadn't shot a shotgun only match since the last World Shoot. So I'm so thankful for dissidents stepping up to support us so that we can actually get prepped, so we can make sure that the best US shooters are going and representing on the teams. And this match really is kicking it all off today. First stage of the match, you have to start seated in this chair and then run up to the table, pick up your gun, and it has some of the tightest no shoots of the whole match that I've seen so far. So I set a goal. Just avoid penalties. You don't, and I think about my saying that I say almost every match, which is like, you can't win the match on your first stage, but I've watched tons of people lose the match on their first stage of the day. So I'm like, controlled. I run up there and I blast those no shoots. Just blast them right in there, bam, 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 just knock them down. And I was like, well, that is not the plan at all. And then I almost missed the flying clay target because I'm sitting here thinking about how stupid I was on my first 2 shots. So, you know,
I lost all my patience.
Starting off the match like this. Here we go. We can only go up, hopefully. Everything's feeling real sluggish, like I'm trying to push a chain or herd cats. Like it's just not really connecting, but I can't really expect it to because I haven't shot shotgun in so long and I have new gear and only 4 days to get ready. All this thing, it all makes sense, but I don't like it. I don't like how I feel while I'm shooting, but it's just part of the process. So trust in the process, trust in the process. And then the thing that I have been like, please don't happen. It happens. My gun malfunctions. And it's not a quick clear, but I get it cleared and I go through the stage. And then you know what happens? The activating swinger target doesn't activate. So that means there's an automatic reshoot. So I'm like, yeah, okay, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna shoot freaking baller. Here we go. And I reset and I get up there and there's this set of steel that I start on the left and then it's almost a 180 turn, a set of steel on the right. And I'm like, I'm gonna shoot these like how I shoot. I'm ready to shoot like Lena shoots. And I freaking shoot those fast. I shoot those fast. I run around that wall, bow, 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 hit that activator. And it doesn't activate again. I also didn't bring a lot of spare ammo, guys. Like I flew with all my ammo.
Whoa, what just happened?
Shit, we're running out of extra rounds real fast. So now I'm on another mandatory reshoot. I'm like, oh gosh, okay. This cannot happen again. I only have so many shells. Get reset. Ba, 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 ba. Jam. And it's a nasty one. And we'll bleep out my cursing because I'm pretty sure I'm calling my gun some pretty nasty names. And then I finally make it through the stage. And everybody was like, oh, that second run, no, that one was really good. And I'm like, oh, I know, and then the third one's the one I gotta keep. So that's gross. And now I know that my gun is maybe not gonna work. I have with me an entirely new trigger group bolt and bolt carrier system for my gun that my dad has done about 4 to 5 modifications on. But they're old parts. They're old parts from the guns that he told me were shot out. And then there's this rule in competition shooting that I always try to abide by, which is never compete with something that you didn't use in practice. I just ignore that and cross my fingers and act like it won't happen again and carry on to the next stage. So I walked away from that stage that was just a reshooting catastrophe, and I absolutely did not want to switch my parts out whatsoever, but in true Lena fashion, just a few shooters down, I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. So I run over, I switch out my parts. I luckily talk with the RO and he allows me to go down range and function fire like 5 rounds into the berm and they all go off. So I'm like, okie dokie, ooh, fingers crossed again. Let's give this a whirl. And I am using these brand new parts on this buckshot stage, which means something to me because my buckshot is even a lighter velocity than my bird and my slug. So in my mind, it also has the highest probability of not running my gun. So here we go. All the fingers crossed. One shot. I get one shot out and it doesn't fully eject the hole, which is a new type of malfunction that I haven't experienced. Like, they haven't made it that far. So I rip it out and I run through the rest of the stage clean. So, you know, at this point, I'm just gonna hold on for the ride and see what happens because we've got a lot of courses of fire to go. That's for sure. The last two stages of the day, I finally started to show up. We had our big field course where we had to like walk a plank and do something. Besides blasting this one barrel next to my target instead of the target like 3 times in a row, throwing off my entire load plan, it went really smoothly. And then finally, the last stage, I shot and I was like, oh yeah, like, that's how I shoot. Like, that felt right. That felt easy. I saw well and gave me a lot of hope and excitement for the next and last day of this competition. That was beautiful. I finally shot like me. Well, not like me, but like good me. The biggest benefit about putting this red dot on my shotgun, or at least what I hope the biggest benefit is, because I don't really know, is slug shooting. And today, we not only have multiple slug stages that are quite dynamic, but we also have prone slug clay targets that are hanging. So not only do I need to be fast and accurate and dynamic, I also have to go prone and shoot this little hanging, dangling, waving in the wind target. So this is when this dot is supposed to really come into play, and I'm excited to see how that goes. The second day, I know how to shoot a shotgun again. I shoot like a boss. I'm shooting confidently. I'm shooting slugs fast and accurately. I'm hitting those little stupid plays. And then look at the bird shot. And I absolutely crush our biggest bird shot stage of the day. And listen, there is something just, there's nothing, oh God, I can't even start to, shooting a shotgun fast and just watching those clays just pow, 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 like disintegrating, or steel just tumbling down. It is so satisfying to me. I will literally rewatch these head cam videos for the entire flight home. I like the sound of it. I like the look of it. It's just, ooh, it's hot. I like it. I like it a lot. So that's how I'm finally shooting, and I am thrilled about it. I have finally arrived. And then I end up running some like stage plans that other people weren't, and they played out. I'm hitting some super fast swinging steel, just freaking knocking it down. I'm like, hello, hi, I'm here. I love it. And then the last stage, hi. I just thought I was shooting good. And then I shot that last stage of the match and I went for it, and it all connected. There's maybe, it's like, just like this much I could have done better. Super proud of it, super happy on how I finished. In all, I walked away with 9 top 5 finishes out of the 12 stages. And in the last day, I was either first or second on all of them in my division. So that was pretty awesome to see, and a huge confidence boost and reassurance that I can actually shoot a shotgun, you know, and that I have all those past world titles because this is how I shoot, and that makes me very happy.
Good start, good start.
Not only did I get to compete alongside Jeremy, but also alongside Jay Leese, who's my friend, and a whole entire squad of really cool people. And I also get to bring my friend along, Sophia, to capture the entire thing so that we could share it with y'all. But I hope when you see this, you can look at it and be like, oh, the only thing that's holding me back from showing up is me. Like, just give it hell, you know? Like, show up, do your best, learn, have fun, but the worst thing you can do is not try at all. So I'm super happy with how the results turned out. This is an awesome first of 3 scores for me to try and qualify for the women's modified shotgun world shoot team. There's many more qualifiers to come, and I'm excited to take you guys along that journey. And a fun side note, after Sophia watched us go through this match, I convinced her into jumping into the world stage for competition shotgun shooting. Fun plot twist, she's never shot a shotgun, but I've talked her into it and she's excited because, like, you know, sharing the range is what it's all about. So I'm excited to build her up for her journey, be able to watch Jeremy develop his skills and show up. And also for Jay Leese, I hope that we'll be able to be on a modified team together, but we'll see. There's a lot of qualifying matches to come, but I'm excited that you got to be a part of this one.